Well, we have bad news for Ford lovers. The Ford Motor Company has been a leader in the automotive industry for over a century, but its current CEO, Jim Hackett, is facing a huge problem. The company has been struggling to keep up with the competition in terms of innovation and technology, and its stock price has been declining steadily. This has put Hackett in a difficult position, as he must find a way to turn things around and restore the company's reputation. You're watching Tech Addicts, where you'll get all the updates related to the automobile world, with the hope of the best never rest. Let's see what Ford will do. In recent years, automakers have been forced to bear the expenses of recalls totaling billions of dollars. These expenditures are the result of defective parts and design defects. Not to be outdone, Ford Motor Company has just lately stated that they will be recalling over 1.5 million vehicles, owing to the possibility of their catching fire. It's not the first time that Ford has had to pay up for a recall, and it is expected that this particular recall will cost the corporation over $1 billion. The cost of recalls may be divided down into two primary categories, the first of which is direct costs, and the second of which is indirect costs. The costs of replacing the defective parts and any labor expenses related with doing so are included in the category of direct costs. The cost of any legal bills involved with the recall are considered to be an indirect cost. Other indirect costs include the cost of sales that were lost as a result of the recall. It is projected that the recent recall issued by Ford will cost the corporation more than $1 billion in direct costs alone. This includes the cost of replacing the defective parts as well as any labor costs that may be involved with the replacement. In addition to this, it's quite likely that the recall will result in significant additional indirect costs for Ford. This covers the cost of sales that were lost as a direct result of the recall, as well as the cost of any legal fees that were incurred as a direct result. Recalls can be extremely expensive for automobile manufacturers, and Ford is not an exception to this rule. It is projected that the recent recall will cost the corporation more than $1 billion in both direct and indirect expenditures. This is a considerable sum of money, and it serves as a reminder to automakers of the significance of their adopting measures to assure the dependability and safety of the vehicles that they produce. Automobile manufacturers can contribute to lower the likelihood of costly recalls in the future by increasing their spending on quality control and safety testing. Ford has issued yet another recall for their SUV lineup, this time affecting about 520,000 tiny Ford Escape and Bronco Sport models sold in the United States. According to Ford and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, possible cracks in the fuel line of the vehicles could cause fires to start under the hood of some cars. These findings come from the investigation conducted by both organizations. According to the information provided by the firm, a total of 634,000 of the SUVs are being recalled due to this issue all over the world. To be more specific, the fuel injector in some Ford Escapes and Bronco Sports from model years 2021 through 2023 that are powered by a 3-cylinder, 1.5-liter turbocharged engine may shatter. This might cause a fire to start if fuel or fuel vapor were to seep into hot portions of the vehicle. There is no suggestion made by Ford to owners that they should cease driving their vehicles. The company has stated that it anticipates the issue developing in only a very small fraction of the total number of vehicles. According to the company, there have been 20 fires that appear to be connected to this newly discovered problem. A previous recall involving these very same SUVs featured another problem, this one involving the danger of fire spreading throughout the vehicle. This recall, which was announced in March, was related to a potential leak that may allow oil to travel to spots in the vehicle where it can catch fire. According to the information provided by the company, the vast majority of the automobiles that were subject to the earlier recall have been serviced in order to address the problem. That does not mean, however, that they are immune to the problem that is causing this most recent recall. In order to comply with the new recall, Ford dealerships will be required to install a software update that has the capability of identifying a potentially damaged injector. In the event that an injector crack is found, a warning light will illuminate on the dashboard of the vehicle and the engine's power will be decreased. Ford stated that this will enable the driver to locate a secure location where they can pull over, halt, and make a service call. Additionally, Ford dealerships will install a tube that will drain any fuel that leaks out of the vehicle onto the ground below, keeping it away from any hot surfaces within the vehicle. The necessary repairs will be carried out at no expense to the owners of the SUVs. Ford has stated that it is making arrangements for dealers to provide free pickup and drop-off services for customers whose vehicles require necessary repairs. There's also the option for owners to bring their automobiles into showrooms on their own. The Ford Escape and the Ford Bronco Sport are quite similar vehicles in terms of their engineering. There's no connection between the two vehicles. The larger Ford Bronco is an SUV that is more truck-like and competes with the Jeep Wrangler. The controversial power shift transmission continues to cause problems for Ford, which has caused the car maker significant headaches. According to a study that was published by the Detroit Free Press, a good number of current owners of 2011 through 2016 Fiesta and 2012 through 2016 Focus vehicles that are still affected by difficulties are angry, given that numerous of them told the newspaper that they have waited multiple months for their gearboxes to be fixed. It is easy to understand why they are frustrated with the delays that have occurred in getting a fix for their automobiles. The publication also mentions wait times of many months and makes the accusation that Ford is disregarding consumers who are trying to get updates on the progress of their repairs. The article highlights more than 24 such instances. Back in 2019, the paper reported on allegations that certain Ford dealerships were refusing to repair their faulty transmissions. Almost as soon as they started into production in 2011, Ford's problematic power-shift dual-clutch automatic transmissions garnered attention, and the first lawsuit was brought against the firm just 1 year later. The transmissions were prone to having rough shifts and required frequent repairs, although the NHTSA never documented evidence that they posed a safety danger to drivers or passengers in vehicles. In 2019, an investigative piece published by the Detroit Free Press revealed that Ford was aware of the issues with the power-shift transmissions throughout the development phase but chose to continue production regardless of the situation. The rest is history, including the fact that the business upgraded the powertrain warranty on the models that were affected, increasing it from 5 years or 60,000 miles to 7 years or 100,000 miles. In the end, Ford reached an agreement with the plaintiffs in 2020 that required the company to buy back defective Fiesta and Focus cars and pay a minimum of $30 million in cash as part of the settlement. According to Ford, call their support line. Although it's reasonable to assume that supply issues are to blame for the lengthy wait times that owners of the Ford Fiesta and Focus are currently experiencing, as the Free Press points out, the problems with Ford's power-shift transmissions date back to a time when semiconductors were not in short supply. When you combine this with the founder's personal accounts of struggle, it's not surprising that consumers who are receiving terrible service could start to feel that the company is oblivious to their plight. Ford claims that the current situation is occurring because there's a lack of the transmission control modules that are required to repair the issue. Ford spokesman Mention Deep told the Free Press that the firm is aware of the delays and is working urgently to obtain the modules. Again, he said this while talking to the Detroit Free Press, and in addition, he encouraged individuals who require assistance while their vehicle is being serviced to contact Ford's customer care line. As they say, Ford, designed for living, engineered to last. So what do you think about the content of our video today? Is this something you have had to deal with? Are you a Ford owner? And in particular, do you have the Fiesta or the Focus? Or does the newest recall affect you with the new SUVs? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we would like to ask you to please like and share our video with your friends and family and fellow auto fans who are in your inner circle. We couldn't do it without you, and we sincerely appreciate you watching our video today. With that being said, let us also please ask you to kindly push that bell icon and allow notifications. If you do that, you will be subscribed to our channel here at Tech Addicts, and you will be always notified when we have a new upload for you. We always bring you the latest and greatest content in the automotive world. Hey, again, we appreciate you spending time out of your busy day to hang out with us today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again next time. Have the best rest of your day, and thanks for watching.